From the Kolkata studios of Republic TV, it's time for Arnab Goswami on the debate.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. For the last few days, a huge scandal has hit in Mumbai. It's called Vazegate. It's around a very controversial assistant police inspector who was given tremendous charge in the Mumbai police called Sachin Vaze. It's rocked the state, and now it's a national controversy. There are new developments and new information comes each passing hour. Tonight the focus is on a black Mercedes-Benz, and we've seen some pictures of cash being taken out from this Mercedes-Benz. Some important recoveries are being made. There's a terrorism case, viewers. The National Investigating Agency is looking at the case. Here are the investigation details which raise some really astonishingly serious questions which have been disregarded for a long time. Before we debate, here's the latest.
This black luxury SUV rolled into the NIA office on Tuesday evening. A Mercedes-Benz owned by a rental firm in Dhule, Maharashtra. Sources say API Sachin Vaze, now suspended, was using this car. A little after 7:30 p.m., this car was searched. Watch closely. Many recoveries were made. Visuals captured on camera show the NIA team recovering clothes, counting cash. In one frame, wads of cash are seen.
ये लग्जरी कार जो कि मर्सिडीज कार जो है वो आज एनआईए के ओर से लाई गई थी और इसके जो है जांच की गई थी। इस पूरे जांच के दौरान कहीं ना कहीं पर कुछ कपड़े मिले हैं। देखिए, एक चेक शर्ट मिला है, एक पैंट मिला है। बताया गया है कि इसमें पीपीई किट भी मिला है और कुछ पैसे मिले हैं। इतना ही नहीं, पर एक बॉटल भी मिली है।
The development came hours after Team Sachin Vaze, that includes API Riazuddin Qazi, were examined by the NIA for the third consecutive day.
Riaz Qazi, who used to work on the Sachin Vaze in the CIO unit, is here at this NIA office for third day in a row. His questioning is important because to NIA sources, it has been revealed that this particular letter which went to Sachin Vaze's society was written by him.
Vazegate is getting bigger because the NIA is probing evidence destruction. This letter shows Team Vaze collecting all CCTV footage from Vaze's own society. A mystery on why the crime branch resorted to such a move. What was the evidence at the society where Sachin Vaze resided?
ऐसा कोई किसी को सपोर्ट नहीं कर रहा है। महाराष्ट्र में कानून का राज है और कानून ही काम करेगा, चाहे कितनी भी बड़ी व्यक्ति हो।
The Sena is watching the developments closely, and its ally Sharad Pawar feels law should take its course and the guilty punished.
और जिन लोगों ने अपना अधिकार का गलत इस्तेमाल किया है, कोई गलत काम किया है, उनको उनकी जगह दिखाने के लिए नेशनल एजेंसी कुछ काम करती है, तो उसको पूरी तरह से मदद करना, इसमें महाविकास आघाड़ी में कोई दो राय नहीं है।
Tonight the clues are in three cars. This green Scorpio used to plant gelatin sticks near Ambani residence. This white Innova that allegedly tailed green Scorpio. A police car found inside the Mumbai Police Commissioner's compound. And this black Mercedes-Benz allegedly being used by Sachin Vaze. Does the story end here? Is there a bigger conspiracy?
अभी इसमें बहुत चीज़ें आनी बाकी है। ये तो सिर्फ शुरुआत है। अभी तो काफ़ी चीज़ें अनफोल्ड होगी।
Vazegate mystery is unraveling. Let's debate.
Our senior associate editor Shawan Sen is on the spot where the investigation is happening. Shawan, some very disturbing new information begins to come out, and every passing hour this, what is being described as Vazegate, seems to be, exploding. Many more layers are coming out, many more facts are coming out. The whole nature of the Vazegate operation, the numbers of people involved, what they were doing, the way in which they were intricately linked. And what is most worrying today is that in India's financial capital, this kind of an operation was going on unchecked for so long. What's the latest, Shawan?
Well, in fact, Arnab, I've been able to speak to some of my sources within the National Investigation Agency, and they say that they have been able to come across electronic evidence as far as this case is concerned. Now, when I say electronic evidence, it essentially means CCTV footage, which goes on to indicate how this entire Scorpio moved from one place to the other. And secondly, this particular Scorpio, which was found abandoned outside business tycoon Mukesh Ambani's residence, which it now turns out, at least the preliminary investigation that has been carried out by the National Investigation Agency, is the fact that Sachin Vaze, an API with the Mumbai crime branch, was actually using this Scorpio for almost about 4 months. So in the CCTV footage that the NIA has accessed, in that they clearly see that this particular Scorpio was being used for some time. Now, just for a quick update as to what has happened today, because this is taking a twist every now and then. What has happened is a Mercedes car was brought in by the National Investigation Agency officers from the Mumbai police headquarters to the NIA compound. Now, it turns out in their preliminary investigation that they have carried out that this Mercedes was also allegedly being used by Sachin Vaze. Now, whether at all, how long was it being used is something that the NIA is looking into it, and it falls within the ambit of the investigation. But what is surprising, what the NIA officers are also indicating is how exactly this.
Sorry to intervene,
Shawan,
was this Mercedes-Benz expensive Mercedes-Benz SUV, was it parked inside? Because we've been hearing some stories about this. Was this Mercedes-Benz SUV, from which we are now being told lots of cash has been recovered, is it true what we are hearing, that this was actually parked within the compound of the Mumbai police headquarters?
Well, absolutely right, Arnab, because this particular Mercedes-Benz, the images that we have right now, was actually parked inside the Mumbai police headquarters. In fact, there are images that the National Investigation Agency have been able to access, and something that we have also been able to, through our own independent investigation, to find out what was really happening. It does turn out, and this is what even the NIA is indicating, that yes, that same vehicle was inside the Mumbai police headquarters. In fact, the owner of this vehicle was called in for questioning by the National Investigation Agency, and a recovery has also been made. Now, we do not know the exact amount that was recovered from that vehicle, and who is it being linked to. That is still not known, and perhaps we will have to wait for the National Investigation Agency to come to some sort of a conclusion. But questions do arise at this point in time, especially given the fact that how exactly was an API ranked officer using a luxury vehicle to begin with, and secondly, what is the link between the rental company owner with that of the API here? That is something that remains a big question right now, because not just one vehicle, we are looking at multiple vehicles that were actually being used by the API along with his other colleagues, and that is the reason why right now this entire investigation basically hinges upon one thing: what was the real motive? Because the real motive is something that the NIA is working on, and perhaps it's going to take some more time before they can come to some
one
sort
thing
of
which is coming out here, Shawan, many people have asked me for my views on this matter. Many people have been asking me for my views on this matter. To all of them, I would only like to say this tonight. I'm addressing you. Like you, I have been watching. And watching with keenness. And watching with a determination that the truth will come out. Now, the important thing is, viewers, that the entire truth must come out. I'm not saying this on an aside, viewers. I want to add here And I want to add and highlight one fact before you, that tonight it becomes your responsibility to ask those members of the Lutyens media just one question. Is it not true that much of the garbage that you published, much of the scum you telecast, was handed over to you by this very man, Sachin Vaze? And therefore, to this Lutyens media, and Lutyens is a loose phrase I'm using to describe a group of people who would, with great gratitude, accept any dirt given to them by Sachin Vaze, publish it as the last word. I want to tell all of you people, you sold out media. You owe an explanation, not to me, not to Shawan. You owe an explanation to the people of this country. And that is why I do think that it is very important that the people watching this program or watching what I'm saying today throw it back to all those people for whom Sachin Vaze was the last word, the number one source. It's very critical. Now, Rahul Narvekar, in this multi-layered scandal, what are the important issues in your view which emerge?
Well, Arnab, first and foremost, this is the first time in the history of the state of Maharashtra, or perhaps in this independent India, where the prosecution itself is wanting to demolish its own case. It is the prosecution itself which wants to give clean sheet to a person who's the prime suspect in a case. You could see the entire state government coming out to protect Sachin Vaze. When his name came out and it was known to all that he seems to have a major role in this entire case, it was this very government which wanted to protect him. Hear me out if you have the courage to hear. Hear me out if you have the courage to hear.
Rahul, you should.
I was on my friend. My friend, I am a part of the Maharashtra State Assembly.
Rahul,
I am a member of the Maharashtra State Assembly, and I have seen how vehemently the Home Minister and the Chief Minister.
Kishore, let him finish. I will come to you, Kishore. Kishore ji, after he finishes, I will come to you, Kishore ji. After he finishes, I will come to you, I assure you.
The Home Minister had committed to the opposition.
I will give you a chance to give your say.
Yes, this man needs to be transferred. This man needs to be suspended. Despite that, after the recess session, when this issue was taken up in the House, the Home Minister does a U-turn and he says there is no question of suspending this person. When the opposition put umpteen pressure on the government and cornered them, that's when he was finally transferred and not suspended. When the inquiry went in the hands of the NIA, that's when the truth started revealing. That's when the truth started coming out. And the government had no option but to finally suspend Sachin Vaze. Why was the government trying to protect Sachin Vaze for almost a week after this scam was opened up? Why was the government hesitant? Are there more skeletons which are going to fall out of the wardrobe?
Kishore.
My answer is 100%.
Let
there
me
are
speak,
many more
Arnab.
skeletons
Arnab,
which are
you
going to
promised
fall
me.
out, and big names will roll out, and that is the only reason why this government
I do have to.
Sachin Vaze. This is the first time in the history of independence
we have time.
where the state, the prosecution in this case, is trying to protect and accused is trying to protect. Perhaps I wouldn't want to jump the gun by saying the guilty, but the accused in this case.
One particular.
The voice has gone.
I'm just saying one thing today. Let me say one thing before you continue, Kishore Tiwari. Because I have a right to say, don't I, tonight. One particular crumbling newspaper which reminds me of the last decaying days of the Roman civilization. every morning would faithfully publish everything that was handed over to them by Sachin Vaze. Viewers, it is our responsibility, all of us, to come together and start questioning these newspapers, these channels, which felt that Sachin Vaze had reached such commanding heights of professionalism that any handout from them which suited the convenience of both sides would be a fantastic thing to publish. Anyway, I shall not focus much on that. Kishore Tiwari, my question to you is, were you protecting Sachin Vaze? You as in, was the MVA government protecting Sachin Vaze? A. B. Was he really acting alone?
Arnab, first thing I want to clear that MVA government never protected Sachin Vaze, will not protect Sachin Vaze at any stage. And I should congratulate you that you are neutral in this case, and you want to clean the dirty people of the police people. And Arnab, the whole case is getting too much serious, and I should assured that NIA should go to the logical conclusion.
You have the audacity to say too much serious? A person has been murdered and you say it's not serious? That's what the law and order situation in the state of Maharashtra is today. This Mr. Vaze was a part of the ruling party.
Rahul, I should be allowed to speak.
Which party
Rahul,
was
I should be allowed to speak.
Which party?
Rahul,
despite
this
there
is not
being a High Court
council
order
hall.
restricting
Rahul,
the government from
council hall.
reinstating him in
Rahul,
service.
this is the
Why was he
debate of a
reinstated in
Republic
service?
TV.
Can you tell
This
me
is
why
the
were
debate
the
of a
special
Republic
favors rolled
TV.
out to him?
You are
Can
not
tell
in
me why
council
did the
hall.
Chief
Rahul,
Minister
let
of
him complete.
Maharashtra-
Rahul, let him complete, because to be fair, he heard you. 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 We have some interesting visuals of him pointing the finger. Yeah.
Arnab, he is not allowing me to speak.
Yeah. Please. Yes,
Arnab,
yes, Rahul, let him complete.
Our ATS
No, that's all right. I'll get everyone in. Everybody has the time today. We all have the time today. I'm going one by one.
Yeah.
One by one.
Yes. Should I speak?
Ratan Sharda.
Should I speak, Arnab?
Complete your point. Yes.
Yeah. This is there. We will not protect anybody. You will not protect anybody. We expect the NIA will come out with the truth, as you mentioned in your starting version. You mentioned it, and the truth should prevail.
Yes.
That is the conviction of my chief minister.
I want to bring in some others also, and since you said the National Investigating Agency will come out with the truth, I would like to share with you that the NIA has just given a breaking news comment on this. Can I play this out? I'm coming back. 30 seconds. Let's hear.
NIA ने आज एक ब्लैक कलर की मर्सिडीज बेंज को सीज किया है, जिस सीजर में वो स्कॉर्पियो पे नंबर प्लेट थी, उसको रिकवर किया है। 5 लाख से ज्यादा कैश रिकवर किया है, एक नोट काउंटिंग मशीन रिकवर की है, कुछ कपड़े रिकवर किए हैं, और इसके बीच में जांच जारी।
ये गाड़ी किसकी है सर? कुछ पता चला?
ये गाड़ी सचिन वाजे चलाते थे। ये किसकी गाड़ी है, इसके बारे में अभी जांच चल रही है।
सर क्या अगर मोबाइल कपड़े और पीपी किट वगैरह सब बरामद किए गए हैं?
अब इसके बारे में अभी जांच चल रही है।
Viewers, I want to recap what he said there. Did you hear that, Ratan Sharda? I mean, viewers, remember, Sachin Vaze, the man almost loved and admired by the Lutyens media, so much so that on certain days, you would find more coverage attributable to Sachin Vaze than from the government of India. He was loved and admired by so many people from my profession. I wonder why. I'm sure they love me a lot as well. Maybe that is why. Now, Ratan Sharda, the latest information we got there, The latest information we got there from the National Investigation Agency is that there was, besides lakhs in cash, a money counting machine.
Oh, yes.
A money counting machine inside the car used by Sachin Vaze, a high-end, I am told some GLX type of Mercedes Benz. What I find astonishing is that an assistant police inspector used to drive in a Mercedes GLX into the Mumbai commissioner's office, park it there, and the money counting machine was inside. And this man today, Ratan Sharda, I must say this, is involved in a possible murder and potential bombing, an act of terrorism. Therefore, I ask you, what credibility does any investigation that he has done so far have any more after this?
Arnab, you will remember that this case was handed over to ATS first. And the ATS wanted to do it, remove the CCTVs from the society where Sachin Vaze lived. It's a chilling reminder, the entire case chilling reminder that normal citizen has no recourse to any law. You'll remember Sachin Vaze was brought back from 17 years of cold, being suspended by High Court, into Mumbai police to drag an editor, senior editor, out of his home to be taken to a jail which was not declared. This man then goes on to fabricate evidence. We had a police commissioner who at the drop of the hat made आपको मैंने टोका नहीं था सर, आप मुझे मत टोके प्लीज, आप मुझे मत टोके, मैंने आपको नहीं टोका था प्लीज. मैं जो कह रहा हूँ सारे इंसिडेंट फैक्ट है, मैं कोई यहाँ पर बहस झूठी नहीं कर रहा हूँ. ऐसा पुलिस कमिश्नर अर्नब सी, you asked him to please keep quiet.
आप धूतराष्ट्र मत बनिए.
We had a police commissioner who had a number of press conferences for a civil case, but this same police commissioner has no time for coming to press and saying what his junior officer has done. No admitting of any guilt. And it is not a simple case of hoax. It's a case of gelatin sticks being found in a car. From where did gelatin stick come? It is number plate change. It is a question of person has been murdered whose car he was using. So it's a continuous case where Rakshak has become a Bhakshak. We are not sure who is the real life, who is the real life. If that is the situation in Mumbai, I don't understand. I am chilled to think about it. What happens to normal citizens? I remember in a debate I told you that I may have to come with a bail to save myself from such indiscriminate kind of actions by the police force. Today, this entire episode, beginning from the arrest of a Republic journalist and editor, tells you that this government has no interest in law and order. This government makes a police officer a Shiv Sena member, then Shiv Sena members is brought into the police force again, despite High Court notation. If it was not for Devendra Fadnavis, this case would have been buried permanently. I can challenge you. And because Devendra Fadnavis refused to reinstate this officer, today he has been reinstated. Can anybody tell me the reason why a High Court suspended officer got back to the force? That is a serious question. डीके जी, आप थोड़ी तो लिहाज करिए कि आप लॉ एंड ऑर्डर की बात करें, टेरर की बात करें. आपका जरूरी नहीं है कि आप जब भी आएंगे आपने विरोध करना है. जरूरी नहीं है जब भी होगा कांग्रेस को सपोर्ट करना है. कभी आप एक प्रोफेसर हैं, इस नाते कभी आप
Okay, DK's turn. DK and RSN, please, 1 second. DK and RSN, let's all give time to each other. Let's hear each other. DK first, then RSN, Vikram, Mamta and Swapnil have not spoken. DK, yes, please. See, DK, can I make a point to you? Can I make a point? Today we are in that situation.
Yes. No,
even beyond the Antilya case, the murder of Mansukh Hiren, I have nothing. I will not make a single comment on any case that is directly or indirectly related to me right now. Because I know, and I'm sure, the courts in their rightful wisdom know everything. The courts in their rightful wisdom know everything. 1 minute. Allow me. I want to complete my point. Excuse me. The courts in their rightful wisdom know everything. I believe in the courts. The courts in previous cases have also said that unfortunately in this country sometimes the process of criminal investigation is itself turned into a punishment. Especially when those people sitting in uniform know how to misuse their powers. right? And that is the core issue. All courts are watching this, and I will not make a comment on this, but I am absolutely sure the truth will be vindicated. I can only talk about people in my profession who have treated Sachin Vaze as a demigod, because I'm sure he used to have a lot of affection for me. My only point is that people must not do that, because they're driven by professional rivalries. If any media organizations do things like that, then eventually the truth comes back to bite them, and in this case it will. I want that other media to discuss and debate Sachin Vaze. My question is on track record. my question is on track record. Here we have a person who is booked in a custodial death case, and he handles all the high-profile cases in India's financial capital. He is booked and charge-sheeted in the Khwaja Yunus murder case, where a 27-year-old software engineer killed in custody allegedly 2003. No questions of ethics. Wanted accused by the local crime branch of Vasai Police 2007 in an extortion racket. Now this man is controlling the investigation of crime in India's financial capital. His reinstatement has been appealed against in court. And all investigations done by him today are under a cloud. My question is, how did he get so far? DK, answer that question. How did he get so far? And I'll get RSN to respond.
Absolutely. It is obviously the political patronage. The police exceed their brief because they are patronized by the politicians across the ideological spectrum. So I will make a small statement of policy that police should be depoliticized and they should be completely delinked from their political masters. Then police will act in sincerity and they will be accountable to their own department. Like judiciary, police should be made autonomous. Then but most of the problems that you are mentioning, that
no, but then it's not only. I would say not only in this case.
Misuse the police.
In this specific case. No. In this specific case, Sachin Vaze has had two godfathers, RSN. Let's reflect on this. Sachin Vaze had two godfathers. Yes. A man who is involved in a terrorism case, murder. He had two godfathers, RSN. One were possibly politicians and others. The second certainly is large sections of the media. The media to whom he used to plant everything and everything. I am told some journalists are also could be investigated in this case. I mean, there's a complicity at multiple levels here, and the media can't wash its hands off. Can it, RSN?
No, you very aptly said, how did he reach thus far? He reached so far because this is the first, as you brightly brought out, that Mumbai is the financial capital of India, and therefore pro-Dawood forces and anti-Dawood forces together for the first time formed the government in the financial capital. Couldn't have been without external bidding, let me tell you. You know,
that's a big allegation of yours. I mean, I don't want to make any subjective points here, but if you can come back to the question of complicity.
The second is who others, provided patronage. You yourself have said, and I am telling you, I have spoken to one person in the criminal investigation department of Mumbai police 3 months back. Whether she's a lady or a man, I won't disclose that. She had told me, he or she had told me that this man had he could just drive straight away into the commissioner's office, and everybody was scared. This man had become larger than life. And it is not, you were telling me that I'm stretching it too far. It's not a law and order problem, for God's sake. It is an internal security problem. And that is why the NIA has rightly stepped in. And this is the worst, this is the most glaring case of, firstly,
I understand.
It's a matter of fact, not only one minute. not only policemen, police personnel, they're lawyers also. While, handling the mafia, they become a part of mafia themselves. And this is what has happened in this case. I mean, look at this man. I mean,
okay,
SUVs and
so now the question comes, Vikram Singh.
He was carrying.
No, Vikram and Mamta and Swapnil and Binay have not spoken.
He was carrying out extortion. He was carrying out extortion at behest of somebody. He was hatchet man of somebody. He was connected to the underworld.
So that
and there is no difference
somebody has
between
to be
underworld
found.
and terrorism.
Vikram Singh, that somebody. No, Vikram and Mamta. That somebody has to be found.
Arnab, there is no doubt about
couldn't
the
have
fact
worked
that
alone.
this person, Vaze, was a known black sheep of the department, and that is why he got a wild card entry into the department against all norms. Because of the fact, the alleged reason that there was pandemic and there was acute shortage of force, the reason was not sufficient to pick up Sultana and Man Singh at dacoits in uniform, but to pick up the right, the honest, the diligent and the hard-working with proven record of integrity, of which there is no dearth in the Mumbai police. This man is a shame for the uniform, and to be picked up and to be kept and maintained as a museum specimen and as a blue-eyed boy for the department, having rightful access. I have known cases where a person wearing a diamond ring is thrown out of the department for living beyond his means. And this man is flaunting a super-class Mercedes and driving straight brazenly into the police commissioner's office with absolute impunity. It goes to show that he can get away with murder, and he's got away with murder.
Exactly. Because he felt he could get away. Because he felt he could get away. Now, why was he reinstated? Why was he reinstated? Now, let's ask the question, Swapnil. Why was he Swapnil and Mamta and then Binay? Why was he reinstated? Why did a review committee revoke Sachin Vaze's suspension and reinstate him on June 6, 2019 along with other suspended officers? Why was he put in a significant crime branch and put in charge? Why was he operating as a number 2 for so long? Why was he handed over all the quote-unquote high-profile cases?
Yes, Arnab, it's very clear that he was brought in with a certain purpose, with a certain objective, and that is where he will have to do a lot of answering. And if this trade leads to the others, they also will have a lot to answer. Now, just as the alphabet A is very close to B and C, objectivity in the media and journalism is unfortunately quite remote, and that is why there has to be a newspaper called as a Republic newspaper also, so that skewed journalism and skewed reportage becomes a relic of the past, and we don't read those kind of things in the morning or view them at 8 p.m. onwards. Now, unfortunately, that is going to take some soul searching for others to do, because as any representative of any investigating agency, I'm entitled to give any report to any journalist, but that journalist or that print media has to investigate and cross-check whether that is appropriate, whether that is justifiable, whether that is objective. Now, as far as this particular issue is concerned, coming to this
That's
particular
expecting too much from Latian's media.
Exactly.
That's expecting too much from them.
Correct. That's why I said that it's unfortunate. Now, that's what, Arnab, the 3 questions that come here, very important here, is that first of all, how is an assistant police inspector driving such a luxurious car? 1, 2, how is it parked? How is it parked in the police? How is it parked in the police headquarters? 3rd, and the most important is that how is it that the society tended to give the digital voice recorder to the crime branch when they should have kept it to themselves, or they should have refused? So these are the 3
I'm
questions
saying Mamta on the right
the investigating
along with
agency has to
Swapnil.
answer. Yes. Arnab, I have just one more point to make. Just Vinay, please, just hang on for 2 minutes, please, and then Mamta can take over, no issues. Arnab, these 3 questions are very important, and look at the section 4B1A of the Explosive Substances Act 1908 with an intention to cause an explosion. Now, that's a very, very big section. Of course, a lot of charging, a lot of, appropriate investigation and probe will have to go into that. But then along with that, there is 120B, that's conspiracy of the Indian Penal Code. There's forgery, counterfeit, and then, negligence with an explosive substance. These are all very, very strong sections. So Mr. Vaze will have a lot of explanation to give in this. And not only that, but if this chain leads to the others, they also will have a lot of questions to answer. Because this is not a very, very small issue. This is a very, very big issue, given that gelatin sticks have been found lying just, as if there were candies lying in a car. That is the point, Arnab, and you do not expect any other media to cover this at all. You are covering it, that's more than enough, because today you are and you have developed a reputation for objectivity, and this probe is going to definitely affect the other investigations, because if the investigating officer himself comes under a shadow of doubt, then it definitely casts at least subconsciously in the minds of any judge who's viewing the investigation prepared by him or her, because that is the way the law functions.
So today my question is, this man, Sachin Vaze, had this tactic. I'll tell you something, Swapnil. He used to give quote-unquote secret information to other officers. And if you look through his charge sheets, apparently there are many charge sheets in which they will say, Sachin Vaze gave secret information and so we started investigating. It's astonishing. It's abominable. It's not an aberration of the law. It's walking all over the law. He used to give secret information, to give it to someone, start a case, whether or not there is a complainant does not matter, hammer, and then carry out what you want to do. Carry out what you want to do. Use the criminal investigation to blackmail, extort, do what you want, plant stories here, there, spread dirt. Use it. Now my question is, today this man, Swapnil, a very important question. This man is arrested by the National Investigating Agency under sections 286, 465, 473, criminal intimidation 5062, 120B of the IPC and 4ABL of the Explosive Substances Act 1908, murder, conspiracy, terrorism, right? Now my question to you, and you're a fantastic lawyer, tell me, what does anything that he has done through his mysterious ways, what does that hold anymore after this?
Very little.
Any investigation? How much does that hold anymore after this?
It's going to have tremendous repercussions as far as the subconscious mind of a judge is concerned. No judge is going to say that openly, that look, you were there in this particular case, you have been charged with such grave sections that you all pointed out and that I also recounted earlier. And so that nobody is going to say that very openly, but definitely in the minds of a judge, it does have a very, very heavy role that when a person himself who's an investigating officer is caught in this sort of a net, then they're going to look at it twice rather than once. They're going to look at it twice and say that, okay, let's examine all the charges on the other cases which this person has done. And that is where, Arnab, what is most important is that the National Investigating Agency, fortunately, under the National Investigating Agency Act of 2008, which came upon the aftermath of the Taj Taj Oberoi attacks, does not require a state permission. They can come in straight in any state and swoop in. Unfortunately, the CBI does not have that, so the CBI has to wait for the state permission and then still go to the court to hammer its own case.
I'd like to go. Let's get Mamta Kale here.
This is good. Mamta, that NYI can come in.
Mamta, now this is you're very active on the digital medium. This is a big talking point in the country now, isn't it? The Sachin Vaze case. What are people saying?
Oh, absolutely. It is a massive talking point, Arnab. And let me tell you, the nation is extremely happy. Extremely happy. All of us were waiting for this day because, I strongly believe in one thing, that you reap what you sow, Arnab. And I deeply believe in this. This man called Sachin Vaze doesn't deserve to be called a police officer. He has been a disgrace to uniform. He thought he was the last word as far as Mumbai and Mumbaikars were concerned. His arrogance, misuse of power was unbelievable, and we've seen it all, Arnab. I can't forget the 4th of November, the morning visuals which I had seen on my screen, and since then I was shaken. I was taken aback that a man who's wearing khaki uniform can behave and misuse his uniform to this level. And look at the way he has been reinstated by his political masters. And after seeing all this, we've realized and we've understood that this was the reason. These were the reasons he was brought in overnight by the Mumbai CP and the Maharashtra government. Days are numbered for him, and I have no doubts about it, Arnab. Days are absolutely numbered for him.
Yeah. And as far as the Lutyens media is concerned, Binay, I want to say one more thing. You know, there's this great film, The Silence of the Lambs. The Silence of the Lambs. The lambs in the Lutyens media. I understand the silence of the lambs. And I have a message to the Lutyens media. I have a message to the lambs. Work hard like Republic, like me. Work hard, put in effort, be committed, work hard, go with the truth, you'll do well. Today the nation is fed up of you, fed up of you. And this particular case is an inflection point, I'm telling you. Work hard, you'll be successful. Success does not come with sitting with people without credibility and plotting and scheming against those who you think are your competitors who have beaten you. If you're beaten, you're beaten. Work hard, fight back. Right? But don't conspire. You end up looking terrible like you're looking now. You'll end up looking terrible. Now, Binay, my question to you is, do the clues lie in the cars? There is a Scorpio found abandoned with gelatin sticks. Can you imagine, Binay, that you try and put it outside Antillia, and there's a white Innova which is tailing this explosive-laden Scorpio. Who does this belong to? Who's been using it? And Sachin Vaze and Mansukh Hiren allegedly met each other for a meeting in a Mercedes car. Whose car was that? What were the circumstances there? Many questions, Binay. What is the biggest question as far as you're concerned?
Arnab, there are two most respected and decorated government officials on the panel today. And I think both RSN Singh sir and Bikram Singh sir will agree with me that Vaze was the only inspector rank police officer in this whole country in India who uses to come into his office in a 4-matic 1 crore Mercedes-Benz SUV. He was the only officer of such kind. And Arnab, what concerns me most, that prima facie, it is a case that Indian Mujahideen's new avatar Jaisul Hindi has deeply penetrated into the core system of Mumbai police network. It is a grave matter of concern, Arnab, and I think Mumbai police needs a deep cleansing. And one more thing, Arnab, Vaze has been suspended for the second time in his career. Two things are common in both the suspensions. One, there was murder in both the cases, and second, there was a terror connection in both the cases. So this is just not a matter of law and order. It is far beyond a law and order problem. It is really related to, it is really connected to the internal security. And one more thing, Arnab.
If you,
just 10
if
seconds,
the truth is going to come out, and I think that's the important point. As I said out there, I once again today I want to place on record, I want to use this opportunity to place on record, Rahul, you're all witness, how proud I am of every member of the Republic team. I will not comment much beyond this, but I want to place on record how proud I am of every member of the Republic team. And I think people will understand that very well. I'm very proud of them.
The nation is very proud of you.
At every moment, you know, they have stood with the truth and they've stood firm.
The nation is very proud of you.
We all are very proud.
We need a Republic newspaper. We are very proud of you. We've got
I think my team,
the Republic newspaper.
Our team at Republic is incredible. Incredible. I think today, last few days, I'll also say this. You know, I'll tell you, Ratanji, last few days, there have been so many people who've been just saying, we want to walk with you, stay with you. And truth will always come out. And I am deeply grateful to them. Our whole team is, but I am grateful to my team. I think they are incredible. They are incredible in this. And the support now, Rahul, is overwhelming today. Overwhelming. I just hope the entire truth also comes out.
That's all I can say at this point of
Ratan
time.
Chadha, you've seen this. Now we have CCTV footage removed by the Crime Intelligence Unit. Look at the situation, Ratan Chadha. Ratan Chadha?
That's what I said. When the police officers behave like criminals, we do not know who is criminal, who is police. We do not know who is gangster, who is the police officer. When you go and view it with the purpose of destruction of evidence, it is something uncalled for and unimaginable. As I said, I am totally, chilled. I get chilling feeling when I see that if senior journalists are safe, if police starts fabricating evidence, if police starts implanting, gelatin sticks in some place, they change number plates, they behave abominably, they bend laws, then where are we normal citizens? That is what worries me. If this is the case of law and order in the most prestigious and most important city in India, what about the hinterland? What happens to common people there? Nothing. Whom they go to? If BJP had not picked up the contract in the Vidhan Sabha by Fadnavis, where would this case be?
Need to be made, and my worry is that if this gets a political spin,
what happened to you?
my worry actually, Rahul, is that this should not get a political spin. It should be about righting the wrong.
That's right.
But Arnab, he has been sheltered by the governing party. He was reinstated by the governing party.
No, but
so even if you don't want
it
to
should be about correcting something that has been terribly wrong, which has continued for too long. Rahul.
Arnab,
true, absolutely true, Rahul.
The silence of the Lutyens media, the silence of the state government, it reminds me of Dr. Martin Luther King's words. It's not the violence of the few, but it's the silence of the many that this country is really going to worry about. You are going to have these handful black sheep like Vaze around, but when the state administration, when the state government, when the fourth pillar of our democracy, the vibrant media, stand by such criminals and such black sheep, that's when a nation needs to worry. And thankfully, there are a handful honest journalists like you who make the truth prevail. And it's that hope that's keeping the citizens of this country going. And I hope that is never defeated. I have personally seen how this Mr. Vaze had vindictively targeted Arnab Goswami when he picked him up from his house in Worli, the kind of language he used, and literally mentioned that the orders that he has, he will comply with them and he'll teach you a lesson, as though he had some personal score to settle against you. When a state government had such officers, what can you expect? What can you expect? Do you think law and order is going to prevail in this state? Do you think people are going to have faith in the police machinery in this state? Unfortunately not. This state had the credibility of having the best police force in the world, in the country. And it's just being destroyed every day. It's being demolished every day. We've come to a stage where the prosecution wants to destroy its own case. The state is the prosecution in this case, and they want to destroy it themselves. And it's obvious. And need not be mentioned. Mark my words, Arnab. Mark my words. There are many larger skeletons which are going to fall out. And it's only to protect these names from coming out that the state is protecting this Mr. Vaze.
Well, they should. Well, they should.
Arnab,
I would just say one thing I want to say, Binay. Binay, I want to say one thing. For some of us, it's nation first, no compromise. And we feel that the fact that a person like Sachin Vaze elevated to great status, and of course given great importance by the Lutyens media, I think there is a lot of compromise with the nation which happens when people like him are projected like that. I think there is. Now the NIA, and I think he sullied the name of the Mumbai police. Right? And my question is today that there is a suspect wearing a PPE suit seen near Antilia after the Scorpio is planted. There is CCTV footage. There is a letter written by this API Riaz Qazi. So clearly Riaz Qazi is working with Sachin Vaze. They are together planning to procure the recording of the CCTV in the Thane building where Sachin Vaze lived. Now this is the man in the PPE suit who's found wearing a PPE suit after the bomb was planted. Viewers, I mean, this is such a case. There's a murder, there's an act of terrorism, there's alleged involvement of a policeman, there's a question of political protection. It's not an ordinary case. I think this will go very far. What do you think, Binay? This is only beginning to unfold now, I think.
Arnab, you must go through the content of Vaze's confession, preliminary inquiry. Vaze has said that he's just a small fry. So who are the bigger conspirators? Who are the real masters? Vaze has himself confessed that he is just a very small part of that. So Vaze is not the main conspirator. So let that uncover. And I think, Arnab, it will be the biggest surprise of the decade.
Mamta.
When the real names will come out.
Yes, Arnab.
The masters of Vaze, on whose instructions Vaze has coordinated everything, that will be a matter of surprise. That will be the surprise of the century, Arnab. I am sure about that.
You know what? We all know who
yes, absolutely,
his political masters are.
Mamta wants to say something. Mamta.
Yeah, Arnab, I just want to make a small point that we all know, we all are aware that who his political masters are and why he was reinstated in Mumbai police after 16 years, once again, to do all of this. A man who's involved in murders, extortion, in an act of terror is being, patronized by Maharashtra government. I mean, this is unacceptable. This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable, and you call him a morally upright police officer. You are writing articles in Samna to save him, to protect him, and this gentleman.
One minute, madam. What gentleman who brought out, the larger picture. Imagine jihadi under trials and convicts in Tihar jail, conspiring with jihadi under trials / convicts in Mumbai in this whole episode, Please, it is there in the, it is there in the open media. I mean, this is the larger angle. And look at the objective. Mr. Mukesh Ambani. Now, was it for extortion? Were they really going to carry out a blast? But if you join the dots, Tihar jail, Delhi, Mumbai jail, Central Jail, Mumbai, and then, this entire explosive business. So it gets much bigger than just a law and order problem. And as the gentleman, rightly brought out, that by tomorrow, yes. Yes.
But how can API
get bigger with every passing hour? Yeah, that's what I said. It is going to get bigger. It is a case of, please don't, don't put it in the narrow perspective of just law and order. Big. And I told you that politics has.
Swapnil, how much time?
Politics has got horribly mixed with this country.
Vikram Singh. Last word, Vikram Singh. Yeah, then we close. 30 seconds more. Vikram Singh, I'll give him the last word.
Arnab, I have seen many criminal acts, but if there is any case that is so scandalous and dishonorable, it is this one. And as Sachin Vaze himself confessed that he is a part of the iceberg, let the larger and the entire iceberg come out and let the nation and the world know the hall of shame in which he and his superiors have dragged the Mumbai police and the Mumbaikas into. What a crying shame, and I do hope the people wake up. It is an alarm bell and a wake-up call, not only for Mumbai, but for the entire country.
Okay, I'll only close by saying, viewers, please never forget that this man, we talk about the politicians, we must. Other policemen supporting him, we must. What we must not forget tonight is that for a period of 3 months, I tell this to the Lutyens media. You worked with Sachin Vaze. He was your darling. He was a darling of a certain sections of the media. You printed everything, you published everything, you telecast everything without second sources. Is this failed journalism or foolish complicity? Latvian's media, the nation will know. The nation wants to know. I'll see you at 9 o'clock tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Good night. Good night.